والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وتبعه ومن والاه. Brothers, last Friday we talked about one hadith of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام when he said خيركم خيركم لأهله وأنا خيركم لأهلي. The best of you is the one who is best for his family, and I'm the best of my family. So when the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام said I'm the best of my family, he does not say just as a claim. No, he provides with evidence. He backs and he supports his claim, this thing, with evidence. And in reality, he was the best person ever. He was the best husband for his wives. If we to know the reality, how was the Prophet ﷺ in the time of when there were misunderstandings between the Prophet and his wives? We go to the house of Aisha radiallahu anha and we ask her, "Oh Aisha, may Allah be pleased with you, how the Prophet ﷺ reacted in the time when there were misunderstandings between you and the Prophet. In the time of family problems, how he reacted." Look at the Aisha. She is, as they say, as-siddiqatu bint as-siddiq. She is the honest and the daughter of the honest, meaning Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. She mentions how the Prophet ﷺ dealt with her jealousy. When she was jealous, how the Prophet ﷺ dealt with this issue. She says that one night, it was her turn, the Prophet ﷺ was in the house of Aisha. And they were lying down, they were sleeping. After a while, the Prophet got up and he went outside. Slowly, he went outside. He went towards Maqbarat al-Baqi', the cemetery of al-Baqi'. It is just 50 or 55 or 60 meters far away from the house of Aisha. It was night, it was dark. Then Aisha radiallahu anha at that time, she got up too and she followed the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. She thought that the Prophet is going to the house of one of his wives, because now it's her night. Why the Prophet ﷺ is doing this? She saw that the Prophet ﷺ was standing in front of the cemetery and was making dua, raising his hands. Then after a while, he came back, and Aisha also came back. Aisha came back, but she came back before the Prophet, and she was running, and then straight away she went to bed, just to pretend that she wasn't sleeping. She has no idea what's going on. Then the Prophet ﷺ, when he arrived home, and she said to Aisha, "Oh Aisha, what's going on?" Because she was running and her breathing was so fast. She said, "Nothing, Ya Rasulullah." The Prophet ﷺ said to her, "If you tell me, otherwise Allah will tell me. Allah will reveal something to me to say that what's going on." Then she said, "Ya Rasulullah," she said the story, "I was following you and I thought that you are going to the house of one of the wives." Then the Prophet ﷺ said to her, "Do you think that Allah and the Prophet ﷺ do injustice to you? How am I going to do this? Because it is your night." That's all what the Prophet ﷺ did. He didn't say anything bad to her. He didn't say, "Why you are following me? Why you are spying on me? Why you have doubts about my justice? If you have doubts about my justice, you are kafira, you are unbeliever. If you have doubts about my justice while you are living with me, what about others? They will also have doubts about my prophecy too." He didn't say anything like that. All he said, "Do you think that I'm as a prophet make injustice to you?" And then he explained to Aisha. He didn't say to her, "Go to bed and that's it, I'm not talking to you." He said to her that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala sent Jibreel to me, and Jibreel said to me, "Oh the Prophet, Allah ordered you to go to the cemetery of Al-Baqi and make istighfar, ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to forgive people that they are in the cemetery." And that's what I did. In another story, the Prophet ﷺ, he was inside of the house of Aisha once again. Then in the middle of the night, Aisha got up and she missed the Prophet. She was looking and that the Prophet is not in his bed. She thought once again that the Prophet ﷺ went to the house of one of his wives while it is her night. Then it was dark, and the Prophet Aisha radiallahu anha was searching with her hand just to find the Prophet ﷺ, like that. Then as she says that I touched the foot of the Prophet ﷺ while the Prophet at that time he was prostrating for Allah Azza wa Jal. He was making sajda for Allah, and he was saying, "Oh Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala," at that time in the middle of the night and in this darkness, he was saying, "Oh Allah, glory to you, and Allah, thank you, and there is no God except you." And in other hadith, he was saying, "Oh Allah, I take refuge in your forgiveness, in your pleasure, from your anger. Oh Allah, I seek for refuge in your forgiveness from your punishment. Oh Allah, I take refuge in you from you. I cannot praise you as you have praised yourself." He was doing Qiyamul Layl at that time. Then Aisha radiallahu anha said, "Oh Ya Rasulullah," said, she said, "Fidaka abi wa ummi ya Rasulullah," meaning my mom and my dad be sacrificed for you, Ya Rasulullah. You are doing something and I was thinking about something else. You are concerned with something and I was concerned with something else. Meaning I was thinking that you have left the house to go to the house of one of your wives while you are doing Salatul Qiyamul Layl. I was thinking that you are going to meet one of your wives, but now you are meeting spiritually with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ didn't say anything bad to her. Maybe you say that these are easy stories and there were no problems in the house of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, take this one, this riwayah, this story. As it's narrated that one day the Prophet ﷺ inside the house of Aisha with the other companions, they were sitting down inside of the house of the Aisha. Then one of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ sent a dish of full of food with a servant. Then the servant came and put the food in front of the Prophet ﷺ and the other companions. Then when Aisha, she saw this, she became so angry because she got jealousy. At that time she became jealous of the Prophet ﷺ. Maybe the Prophet now says, "Wow, her food is so delicious." That's nature. That's something natural between wives. So she became so angry and came with a stone and broke the dish in front of her husband Rasulullah ﷺ and other companions. What do you think? No, if this happens to in our homes, what are we going to do? We are men. We know what we're going to do. Look at the Prophet ﷺ. He didn't say anything bad to her. He didn't curse her. He didn't swear at her. Hasha Rasulullah ﷺ. He didn't beat her. He didn't say, "Why you are doing this? You know that I'm a prophet." He didn't say, "Why you are making me? Why you are embarrassing me in front of the companions? They respect me so much. They are ready to dedicate their lives for the sake of me, to sacrifice their lives for the sake of me. Why you are doing this?" He didn't say anything like that. All he did, alayhi salatu wasalam, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. All he did, he bent down and he collected the broken pieces of the dish, and he combined, he collected them, and then he put the food which was spread around. He collected the food and put in the broken dish. Then he said to Sahaba, he said, "Eat. Your mom got jealousy," meaning your mom, meaning Aisha, because she is the mother of Muslims, of al-mu'mineen, and us other wives of the Prophet ﷺ. All what the Prophet ﷺ did is this. He didn't say anything bad to her. You may say, why Aisha radiallahu anha did this? And if this happens to your wives, we don't accept that. Well, Aisha is the one Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala loved so much. Why she is doing this? Look, 2 points important here. One is that when we talk about the community of Sahaba, we are not talking about people who are perfect. We are not talking about infallible people. We are talking about people making mistakes. People hate, people love, people cry, people, they got jealousy, all these things that we have. So Sahabas were human beings like us. One thing. Another thing is that because we are claiming, we are saying that we are following the Prophet ﷺ, and he is our role model, he is our master, and we learn from him. When we say that, we have to know all the details about his life. So if there were no problem inside of the house of the Prophet ﷺ, if we have family problems or problems with our wives, how can we deal with it? When we see that in the story of the Prophet ﷺ, in his biography, there's no such a thing. So that was the decision of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal decided that these things should happen inside the houses of the Prophet ﷺ, because that's how we learn from the Prophet, how he dealt with this issue, how he reacted. So these two important points are important to understand that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, anything happened in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, it is for our benefits, to understand, to learn how the Prophet ﷺ dealt with this issue. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات اللهم ارحم موتانا واشف مرضانا وسلم أحياءنا وآمن روعاتنا اللهم انصر المسلمين المؤمنين في كل مكان اللهم انصر المؤمنين المستضعفين في كل مكان اللهم انصر المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان اللهم أبعدنا عن البلاء والوباء اللهم أبعدنا عن البلاء والوباء إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر أقيموا الصلاة